Okay, this video is going to take you through how to execute each of these lines of code based on these declarations at the top. And so we see here that we have x plus equals or is assigned y, and so the plus comes first, and so we're going to add 10 and 4, and that's 14. Now we do the assignment. So x should be 14. And y is going to stay at 4. In the next one, the multiplication comes first, so we're going to multiply and then we're going to assign. So b is 15, a is 4, a is 8, and so 15 times 8 is 120. So 120 will be assigned to b, and a stays the same. Number 3, the situation here is that we now have something other than the divide and assign. We have a subtraction. And what happens is you want to deal with the right side as a group, so to speak, like in doing as if it's were in parentheses, like the PEMDAS situation. So this is a group. You were going to divide b by whatever the result of the right side of the assignment operator is. And so we always want to take care of that right side first. And so 10 minus 6 is 4. So now it becomes b is divide and assign 4. And so we're going to divide b by 4, and so 15 divided by 4 is 3, and so 3 is going to be assigned to b. X stays the same. The next one, we're going to take the modulus first of x divided by 8, or a, and then we're going to assign that. So x divided by x is 10, and so 10 divided by 4, divided by 8. 8 goes into 10 one time. We don't do decimals here because we're dealing with ints, and we have 2 left over. So 2 is going to be assigned to x. And a stays the same. Okay, now we're going to get into the increment operators. The situation here is that you have an increment operator and you have an assignment. The increment operator, increment is always at the beginning or at the end. It's always the first thing you do or the last thing you do on a line of code. Because the increment operator is in front of the variable, in front means before, we are going to do the incrementing first. So a has to be incremented before the assignment takes place. And so a is 8, so now it becomes 9. And so that 9 is what's going to be assigned to the x. In this one, number 6, we see that we have an assignment and an increment operator, and the increment operator is always done first or last. And because the increment operator follows the variable on which it's located, it's going to be done last. So we need to assign first. So in other words, pretend you don't see this. And so b is currently 15. That's what's going to be assigned to y. Now we can increment, and we got to remember not to forget. So don't forget to do that incrementing at the end. And so now b, which is 15, is going to become 16 now, because it's the last thing we do. in number 7, the increment operator comes first. And so we have an assignment, we have increment, which we have to do first because it's before the variable, and we have multiply. And also, we remember that we've got to do the right side first. And so, we increment y, and so 4 becomes 5. You want to do that in your memory locations immediately. And so that now we're going to use the 5, not the 4. So 5 times 3 is 15. So 15 is assigned to A. In 8, we have an assignment operator, we have an increment operator, and we have an addition. The increment operator follows the variable, so this is done at the very end. So that means we're going to take care of this right side first, and that we can assign that to B. So A is currently 8, and so 8 plus 10 is 18. 18 is going to be assigned to B. Now we can increment the A, which we need to take care of in our memory locations every time, and so A now becomes 9. Okay, number 9, we have printing, and we have an increment operator. I guess we could say we have concatenation taking place also. And so we are going to increment at the end because the increment operator is after the variable. And so we're going to go ahead and take care of this x right now. X is 10, so we're going to print 10 cows. So it's going to be 10 cows. And then we now need to remember to increment, and this is where some students miss it, is they forget to increment at the very end. And so we're going to increment that x, and so 10 is going to become 11. In this next one, we have the printing and the concatenating, and we have the incrementing. We're going to increment first because it comes before the B, and so B is 15, so now it becomes 16, so it'll be good to change that right now. And then we're going to print then 16 dogs. Alright, that is how it works.